His words of inspiration are Leiloi Nishmat Fortune Chaya Bat Esther. Ruach Hashem Tenachena B'Gan Eden. A old couple were celebrating 50 years of marriage together. And the husband decided to take his wife on a long-awaited cruise. He managed to get the best deal in the Caribbean. And they're on the Caribbean, and as you know, in the cruise you stop on certain islands. And he stops in an island, he goes off with his wife, and he's told by the guide that in the distance there is a wonderful cave which many tourists want to visit because it's got special powers. He arrives in the cave, goes to the cave and starts looking around, and lo and behold, he finds a flask. But it's an old flask. So he decides, this could be a good antique, I can take it back with me. He rubs it, and guess what? A genie pops up. And this genie is amazed. Thank you, sir, so much. You have saved me from being in this flask for thousands of years. I will grant you whatever you want. So the man starts thinking, listen, I'm on my anniversary, 50 years, been married to my wife for a long time. How about, I could do with a wife that's 10 years younger than me. Please. Boom, bam. There's a big commotion, and the genie has acted on his wish. The man is feeling a bit more cranky. He doesn't know what happened. What turned out? He was now 10 years older. Sometimes we wish for things, but we don't know exactly what we're wishing. We think it's good for us, but we don't know. Only God Almighty knows what is good for us. If you walk into a Sephardi synagogue, when you come to Ashrei Yoshvei Veitecho, or if you've ever been to a Sephardi family when it comes to Hamotzi Lechem Min Haaretz, the father of the house sits down and he opens his hands and he says, Poteach et yadecha u'maspia lechol cheretzon. This is a famous pasuk, a famous sentence that has a charm for a segula, for parnasa, for sustenance, for wealth. A person who says it with the correct ideas and intent is guaranteed wealth. What does it mean? Poteach et yadecha u'maspia lechol cheretzon means open up your heart. You, God Almighty, open up your hands. Umasbia, and you satiate, you give, l'chol chai, to every living being, ratzon, whatever they desire. You are amazing, from the ants, the little ants, to the birds, to the bees, to the fish, the trees, the mountains. You sustain the entire world. If we have that intent, we are guaranteed that God will sustain us. But there is a deeper meaning. And I want to share with you a wonderful story. I'm sure many of you know, when you were younger, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. It was a fantastic novel. In 1900, it came out in 1900, and already 10,000 copies were pre-sold. It was a hit. And if I say so myself, it's like a Jewish story. And I'll explain. You have a girl, Dorothy, who's whooshed away with the wind, a hurricane, and she finds herself in a new land, and she doesn't know where she is, and she wants to get out of this land. And she comes across a man full of hay, and he's looking, he's searching for something. He's searching for a brain, he's searching for wisdom. And then she comes across a man with tin, and he's searching for a heart. He's lacking a heart. And then she comes across a lion, and the lion is lacking courage. 3 things: wisdom, a heart, and courage. Amazing tools that we all use in life. Eventually, she tries to find her way out, and she's told to go to the Wizard of Oz. On her way, she's challenged by none other than the witch, the Yetzer Hara, of course, and she finds her way to the wizard after all the trials and tribulations. As she gets there, she's told that she's able to finally leave the place. She's excited. In the last moment, she's about to come onto a balloon which is going to take her out of this area, and she misses the balloon. Now she's very depressed. All those trials, all those tribulations went for nothing. What's she going to do? She's upset. But then, in the background, there is a lady, Glinda. Glinda comes in a big bubble, and she says to her, Dorothy, why are you so sad? You want to go out? It's very simple. Use your silver shoes. She dances with her silver shoes and she's able to get out. Now I have a question, and I had this question since I was young. Where was Glinda from the beginning? Why didn't Dorothy ask her, I've been trying to get out of here for so long. Couldn't you have told me those amazing shoes of mine could have got me out? Why did I have to go through all these trials and tribulations? You see, it was the trials and tribulations that built Dorothy. It was those trials and tribulations that made her who she was. It was at that time that she was able to come out of that situation. Everybody in the world has got ritzonot. Everybody has got wants and desires. We have a shopping list that we ask God every single day. I'd like to have health. I'd like to have a good business today. I want to make friends. I want to make sure that my wife is happy. My children are excited. That I get married. That I find the right person. Everybody's got a wish list. Sometimes, though, the wish list is not necessarily the right thing to ask. The most potent thing to ask God is Poteach et yadecha u'maspia l'chol chai ratzon. You, God, open your hand, u'maspia, and satiate every living being, every one of your creatures with ratzon, with the willpower to live, to continue, to pass the trials and tribulations, to succeed. This is the story of the Jewish people. This is the story of our nation. We are succeeding. We are passing the trials and tribulations. When we know what we want, then God Almighty will give us a special bracha. And I want to share with you a wonderful words of none other than Picasso. The meaning of life is to find your gift. The purpose of life is to give it away. Challenge of the week. What are your wants? How are we going to improve? Know yourself before you know God.